Right, thank you. Well, let me just officially kick off and say good morning to all of our chamber leaders from across the state. Happy October. We have officially kicked off the last quarter of the year. So all the goals and initiatives that you started this year, if you feel like me, you're on the last 3 months to try to make that happen. So just want to say good morning and thank you everyone for your time and joining us. We are excited this month because we have officially decided as executive board that we will host the hybrid conference for the Texas State Association for African American Chambers. What that means is it gives us an opportunity to reconnect again. Although the COVID pandemic is still going, we all have to stay safe. We all need to make sure that we are personally staying safe, keeping our families safe. There is a lot going on in our communities, a lot going on within our chambers, a lot of opportunities, and it's very important that we spend some time connecting, networking, and talking about that as a chamber community and as a state association. We feel like there's a lot of opportunities for us as we end 2021 and plan for 2022. So what we have done is created a hybrid format for our conference. And Matt, our vice chair, will go through the details of that with us and walk through the detailed schedule. But I want to just personally invite and ask for our chamber leaders, our presidents, our chairs from around the state to join us personally in Houston. We have the in-person portion for our chamber leaders, for our presidents and chairs that we're asking you all to join us in.
Give me 2 seconds. I'll try to recap what we heard so that you can correct everything that I missed. Okay. And so before we get started, what Chairwoman Rose was saying was that we've created a virtual conference where at the end of the month, October 27th through the 29th, we want to provide a chance for all of us to get together as a state organization in a safe manner. We want to be able to have our meeting in person so that we can elect our next year's next year's board and exec officers. We need to do that due to COVID and not us allowing us to meet in our regular cycle. And secondly, we want to be able to have a presence in Houston with our corporate partners, with our state agencies, and with an exciting announcement that Chairwoman Rose will announce to us. I'll give her the privilege to do that either this week or next week. But what we're asking is for people, one, we want to have a discussion today to hear you all's thoughts of the hybrid approach. Two, I want to also describe and talk about the days. This is going to be set up differently than our typical conference. It's not going to be the virtual conference we had last year, but we're also not making it or forcing it to be a 2 or 3 day conference either, because we want to ensure people are safe, and we want our programmatic portion of our conference to be virtual. We don't want, we want to possibly open it up to members of our chambers of commerce. So we want us to discuss that. That is essentially what I thought Courtney was speaking on. Madam Chair, is there anything I missed there? And are you at a better place of reception? Madam Chair, she's probably also, I also want to note, our chairwoman is actually, she's got a call from her daughter's school, so she had to be mobile all of a sudden. So what I will do is before I discuss the schedule, I want to just introduce people who are here. There are a couple of new faces that I want you all to have the opportunity to turn your cameras on and tell us a little bit about yourselves. We have enough people in the call so that we could just have a quick 30-second run for everyone. And when business owners get 30 seconds, that means everyone has a minute. So please take 30 seconds and we will start with the birthday girl, Miss Miller, who celebrated her birthday last month, coming out of Prairie View, Texas, Wilder County. Miss Miller, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Andrea Miller, and I am the president of the Prairie View City Chamber of Commerce. And I have been president for the last 2 years, and looking forward to the conference and meeting each and every one of you in person soon. So I am from Prairie View. I graduated from Prairie View, and I'm a retired state employee with the state of Texas. I used to work for Brenham State Supported Living Center as assistant superintendent. So
good deal.
I'm glad to be online.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Appreciate that. Next, we'll go to Greg Thompson.
Good morning to everybody. Greg Thompson, chairman for the Alamo City Black Chamber of Commerce here in San Antonio. I've been the chairman, coming up my anniversary here, 1 year in November. I'm born and raised San Antonio, went away for a military career, graduate of Auburn University. Played a little basketball there till I realized they had real basketball players in college. So I gave that up, went to the military to be employed. I have worked in the civilian sector as well as retiring from the military. Currently working in the Defense Health Agency in the infrastructure technology side of things, doing a lot in cybersecurity on that side. But overall, just want to mention that I had been out of the loop for about 5 weeks doing some cyber stuff. Additionally, we're reconstituting a portion of our board members at this time. We have about 8 applications to add some folks to the team. But basically, that's it. And appreciate being on the call.
Thanks, Greg, and welcome back. I know that you have to work in the market space, so we totally understand that. Next, I would like to go to Miss Hawkins, Tam Hawkins out of Austin. If you can't hear us, let's see. I think I have someone else. She's on. She says hello. No, take your time. We'll come back to. Oh, there she is.
Oh goodness, I'm having technical difficulties. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tam Hawkins, and I represent the great city of Austin. I almost said Chicago for some odd reason. So I have been president and CEO of the Austin Black Chamber since 2015. And I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to talk about the conference. It has been a wealth of content knowledge. I think it's one of the best kept secrets in Texas. And I think we need to not keep it secret anymore. And so we're happy to help do our part to make certain that that our entrepreneurs get what they so rightly deserve. So thank you.
Perfect. Good deal. Good deal. Thanks, Tam. I appreciate you. Next, we'll go up I-35 to Dallas to see Harrison Blair. Mr. Blair.
Mr. Houston, thank you so much. I'm Harrison Blair, and I serve as president at the Dallas Black Chamber of Commerce. We have a distinct pleasure of being the oldest Black chamber, but we are very glad and proud to be a part of TAC and to have so many other chambers that are doing this work. We know that if there were 10,000 more Black chambers, there'd still be a lot more work. And we're very excited to be a part of the cohort of chambers that are going to help change the economic ecosystem for Black businesses. And we're excited to talk about the conference as well. So glad to be a part. And shout out to Prairie View. You know, I'm a Prairie View grad. We just got you putting a beat down on Grambling. So Just want to throw that in the mix. Glad to be here with y'all this morning.
Good deal. Thank you, Mr. Blair. And, you know, I have a family of Prairie View folks, so I definitely have it was a good weekend last week. I want to introduce Cliff Freeney, who is not a member of president of an organization, a chamber, but is on our executive board and is an entrepreneur, business owner. Cliff Freeney. And he may be working. So what I will now introduce the newest member here on this call. I want to introduce someone who is replacing someone that's near and dear to all of our hearts. Devoy Jennings was one of the founding, one of the early pioneers in TAC, and he and Jim Austin really built this organization in the 90s and 2000s. And so we have Sultan Cole, who is the chair of the board of the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber and acting president, to say a few words.
Well, good morning to everyone. Again, thank you, Brother Houston, for that introduction. And I'm humbled at the same time, delighted to be able to represent Devoy Jennings in his passing. Great leader here in the city of Fort Worth. And so we're still, dealing with the effects of the loss of a giant of a man who has been the stalwart in terms of promoting economic development here in Fort Worth. I'm serving now into my 6th year as chairman of the board here at the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce. I've always liked to remind our staff as well as our board that here in Fort Worth, we are the chamber of choice. And so we're doing some magnanimous things here to promote economic development, wealth generation, not only just for now, but for generations to come. And so I'm excited to be on this call today. I'm gonna keep my comments short because I know Matt said we had 30 seconds. It could turn out to be 1 minute. And I think I got about 10 seconds left on my introduction, but I'm not a HBCU graduate. I wanted to go to Southern University to get my engineering degree, but I ended up doing that at Texas Tech University. So I'm a Red Raider and also a graduate of Liberty University, working on my doctorate now in business development. So anyway, excited to be on this call today. Looking forward to engaging everybody at the meeting, and to my cohort here, who is the chair or president out of Austin, Texas. Is that the chair in Austin, Texas?
President. She's the president.
Mm-hmm. I was just in your neck of the woods on yesterday. My oldest grandson played baseball and won his game. And so my travels to Austin was very enjoyable and enjoyed it coming back. Traffic wasn't too bad. Austin's a pretty city. Hopefully one day we can meet each other and discuss some opportunities there in Austin. I'm gonna close with this. I'm also the founder of what I call the best literacy intervention program in DFW, called Read to Win. And so we go in and we help our kids of color, our Black children in particular, to get up to reading grade level, because we know literacy is all important. If you haven't learned to read, you can't read to learn, right?
Exactly.
So that's my passion. Thank you for having me on the call.
Thank you, Chairman Cole, and thank you for that. So we did a lot of these. We did a lot of this because we've been seeing each other virtually for the last year and a half, and it's time for us to meet in person. We want to be safe, but it's really strong. It's really powerful when we know that we have a support group that's fighting in the trenches in each representative city, and our annual meetings are normally those spaces. It was alluded earlier from Tam that this is the best kept secret. Our conference is the best kept secret concerning content that we have at the state. And with this virtual conference, I want us to provide one of the solutions so that we could disseminate all of this content to the masses. And so, Madam Chair, are you available? Are you at a place of better reception? If not, I can continue to talk, but I want to at least give you time and space if she's still on. She's still off. Okay. So what we've decided, what the executive board has done, and Clifford is here, but he's on another call as well, is that we've created a 3-day optional event with our focus for our board members and for our presidents, chamber presidents, to be present on Thursday for our board meeting in Houston at the Buffalo Soldiers Museum Thursday morning. And then us having a follow-up reception and Hall of Fame awards reception Thursday afternoon at 11:30. Why did I say those two? Why did I say those things first before giving the agenda? Is because we really need to do the business of TAC in person. If you can make it to Houston, please do so. And we also want to provide our corporate providers, our agency representatives that are out of Austin, an opportunity for them to see the work that we've done in the past year and a half during COVID. All right. With that being said, let me describe the calendar of events with our emphasis for attendance on Thursday. And I know Charles O'Neill has joined the call. So Charles, would you mind after I said sharing some words after I provide the agenda? All right. No problem. And if you're not on mute, please go on mute so that we won't affect the video recording. All right. On Wednesday afternoon, we have agreed to do an informal golf outing at Herman Park. What does informal mean? This is not an official TAC event. Normally for conference golf tournaments, there's a registration table with a place where you can pay your money, get your swag bag, buy mulligans, things of that nature. We're not going to have that format this year. We are creating our golf outing as an informal networking session. So if there are 4 or 8 or 10 people who decide to attend the Thursday meeting and you want to drive Wednesday, we will have a place where we can reserve several teams to play. We build, we network, we catch up on what's going on in our respective cities. Starting at 1 o'clock tea time, we'll end around 5 o'clock or so, and then we'll have a reception, an evening reception at our Legends cigar. I believe it's a cigar spot, Black-owned cigar spot in Houston. Again, this is so that we can informally greet people if you all choose to travel from your respective cities to Houston, and us provide some type of social interactions. Secondly, and so that the evening is done. Wednesday evening is done. The formal meeting starts Thursday morning at 8:30. We want all board members and exec members to be present at 8:30 so that we could start our TAC board meeting at the Buffalo Soldiers Museum. Yes, I'll repost, Tam. In fact, I'll do you one better. I will show you the initial flyer, but I want us to discuss this first. I'll send all of these dates after our conversation, but the dates are October 27th through the 29th. We will have our board meeting at 9 o'clock, but also simultaneously around 9:30 or 10 o'clock, we're going to provide meetings for our new advisory group members and our sponsors and agency supporters, so that we can then build as we go into our luncheon. At 11:30, we will have our awards reception and luncheon, where this reception is not focused on a sit-down luncheon per se, as much as it's going to focus on performing and presenting a video production so that our TAC members across the state and our business sponsors across the country can honor and we can award our Hall of Fame inductees, spotlight the work that TAC is doing across the state in a virtual setting. So it will be maybe high boys will probably have it in a reception model where people will be socially distanced, but we'll have small bites, but we will have a big formalized presentation with the video production crew so that we can broadcast our Texas Black Hall of Fame and we can spotlight our potential partnerships that we are doing with our agencies and our organizations. That's going to end at 2 p.m. That's scheduled from 11:30 to 2 p.m. Once that's concluded, that is the end of our face-to-face interactions of our conference. Following that, Friday morning is when we will start our virtual component. If you are still in Houston, if you want to drive back to your respective cities, you'll have time to get there as we are leaving early in the afternoon so that you can get settled back at home. Or if you would like to stay another day in Houston, you'll have time to do whatever you'd like recreationally before Friday morning. Then we will have 5 sessions. We'll have one plenary session at 9 a.m. on which will be our Texas economic forecast with William Cunningham, our national economist, from 9 until 10:15. We want to have 5 sessions that's going concurrently in 2 time blocks or 3 time blocks from chamber members to provide content on what you all have done during COVID, whether it is operationally, whether it's programs that another chamber, state agency, a state chamber of commerce can benefit that you all have learned during this season, or if there is a partnership you want to spotlight that you've done with a corporate entity of your chamber that's benefited your members. We want to provide 5 session slots for you to present that. The session slots will be 10:15 a.m. And it's 45-minute long workshops. 11 a.m. and then a 1 o'clock session. Sorry, there are 3 times, and then a 2 o'clock session. So for 10:15, 11, a 1, and a 2, there are 4 time slots that we're looking for 5 chamber entities to provide workshops. So if you're interested in providing a workshop, please email me, and then we'll discuss as an executive committee those sessions so that we can post them. The conference will close at 3:30 p.m. virtually, and that will conclude our time. Does anyone have any questions? I know I said a lot. I'm really just talking until either Charles O'Neill or Courtney, our Madam Chair, is available and back in good reception. I know I said a lot to you. You all are expecting to see our chair speak about this, but I wanted to give you the technical aspects to see if there were any questions.
Yes, this is Andre.
Hey.
From Prairie View. Hello. I had a question in regard to there are elections that are going to be going on, correct?
Yes, that's
And-
going to be on Thursday morning from 9 until
Okay.
11. Mhm.
Okay. Thanks.
And that's why I want to emphasize the importance of board members to be present Thursday in Houston. We want to be as safe as possible. We understand that. That's why we don't want to make this a face-to-face conference that we initially planned earlier in the year because the Delta COVID, the Delta variant, and then now the Mu and Lambda variants as well. We want to make sure everyone's safe, but we also want to make sure that we're still doing the business of the organization.
Hey, brother man,
Yes, Chairman Cole.
in terms of our, I probably have missed something, so please forgive me on at being a novice with this being my first meeting.
No worries.
But in terms of our sessions for our time together, will there be what are some of the topics that we will be discussing again? Maybe you covered that and I kind of missed that in
No.
driving.
No, that's a great question. We did not discuss the exact topics. We can discuss it. Anyone can jump in to discuss past topics of TAC conferences. We've discussed how you do business with state agencies. We've had professional development workshops where chambers can spotlight what they do in their city and how that can possibly be replicated across the state. We've also focused on, and I want to highlight TAM in terms of us as an organization becoming more relevant in today's environment in terms of gender equality, equity within the organization. And so we would have not a woman panel just to spotlight women, but to also understand the importance of knowing how we need to operate in this current business environment to advocate for all businesses for the future. So workshops vary. We've had discussion panels with presidents of HBCUs to discuss the importance of creating a student pipeline. We've also have a student pipeline, a student track historically, where college students from Prairie View, Houston-Tillotson, Texas Southern, and other schools, UT San Antonio, have all met and have met with Brian Rowland, who is now mayor of Prairie View, and myself. So we have a variety. Tam, please share some more insights. But literally, we will have great content for only 70 or 80 people to experience. And I think we need thousands of people to experience this across the state.
I agree, Matt. I think one of my favorite, is that me with background noise?
I think that if you're not speaking, please turn the phone on mute. Thanks.
One of my favorite panels was the one on the diversity of funding. And I mean, we literally had every type of funder you can imagine in front of, as Matt said, about 70 or 80 people that were there. They were, and not just explaining and educating, they were decision makers. So we had people right there. If you were packaged and ready to go, you could literally build a relationship right there at the conference and come out with the funding you need to make certain that your business was more profitable. And so those are the types of panels that we put together every year. And I just wish that more people attended. So all of us that are on this phone, I think we've tried, and we've not really figured out what the secret sauce is. I just think that people hear conference and they kind of gloss over, but those that attend, I think it's well worth it. And it's reasonable. You know, it's fairly priced, I believe. The team does a great job of securing sponsors so that the out-of-pocket costs are very minimal. So that's the one that I can think of. I do like the past chair men's panel. That's another one, kind of the overview from the past to the present. I like that perspective of kind of getting a statewide idea of what's going on for Black businesses all over. So.
Thanks, Tam.
Yeah, did I forget? I couldn't remember.
No, that's good. And I actually want to bridge this with Charles O'Neill because I want him to chime in, because I want him to also discuss past programs from the past. But I also want us to discuss access to this conference, because there's something that we as a body should discuss in terms of outreach, and something that to figure out how we can move forward with the application process. That's another reason why you all haven't seen the flyer or the application yet, because I want us to discuss this. But Charles.
All right, Matt, thanks so much. And good morning, everyone. And thank you so much for joining in the call this morning. There's a couple of things that I think are really critical about this year's conference and our efforts to ensure the widest possible engagement. I won't say participation, I mean engagement. And so what we've struggled with to this point in the planning is how we can maximize and short of saying that this year's board meeting is mandatory, while we recognize that the pandemic and literal cost of being present are real factors. Because of where we find ourselves as advocacy organizations for Black business owners, we think it's critical that we put on our mask and social distance and get in the room together. I certainly believe that it's just that critical. And while Zoom calls are clearly efficient and we're able to make sure that we're safe, but the idea that we can be in one place at one time, I think adds some energy to the work that we do. And so I want to stress to you, while we have an all hands on deck call today, I can count just as well as you. There are 9 people on the call. There are 25 chambers in the state. It's much more critical than that. And so I encourage you to reach out to your peers, your colleagues around the state, and encourage their participation in this year's conference. One, because clearly we want to elect leadership for the future of this organization. And as Tam alluded to, and Matt as well, we want to underscore how important it is that we maintain ourselves as an organization. We can't do that with a third of the membership. We can, but it's not the best possible situation to do it with a third of the members participating. I believe that when we're all in the room together, we reach solutions that work for all of us. Secondly, we, again, Tam alluded to, and Matt as well, again, the high quality content that we provided in workshops in the past. We really spend a lot of time trying to ensure that we hit all the buttons for content that will have the greatest impact across all the geography of Texas, something that will work as well in Longview as it does in Abilene, as it does in Corpus Christi. And so we can only do that effectively, efficiently when everybody's involved in that planning. We know that the baseline setting that the Texas Economic Forecast has provided for us over the years kind of sets the table for what we've done. And as you recall, last year's conference, our short take on reading, writing, and arithmetic, reimagine, reinvest, recreate, we just squared it this year. And because we didn't get a chance to, again, to stress how critical it is that we reimagine our businesses, how we're able to reinvest in ourselves and our organizations and the businesses that we work for, and then recreate this new vital and profitable Black business future. So two of the workshops that we have pre-planned for this year, one is going to be provided by one of those financial institutions that Tam mentioned, Regions Financial Corporation. They're going to do a workshop on merger and acquisition finance. We recognize, again, as we recreate, reimagine these enterprises, if we're really going to be successful in a quote unquote global economy, we just got to bite down hard and realize that scale is going to be critical. It's going to be more and more difficult for solo practitioners, for small business enterprises to actually be competitive in a marketplace that's feeling the pressure that all business sectors are feeling right now. And so we believe that offering insight on how best to access capital and use that capital to forge the kind of relationships that ensure longevity, vitality, and profitability for businesses is going to be important. The other is late last year, we engaged a Black-owned company, ATX Designs, to redesign tax website. Their goal was not just to have us an improved website with the kind of features that Matt understands much better than I, with ability to broadcast or to host our YouTube videos, do some polling through our website, and fancy terms like search engine optimization, stuff that I don't know anything about. But Mr. Griggs is going to, Daniel Griggs is going to walk us through creating an interlocking network of websites that again makes experiences that we might have on the Gulf Coast with those that might function here in North Central Texas, so that we can kind of merge our efforts across the entire footprint of TAC through our interlocking web and social media practices. And so those are two workshops that we believe have some applicability across the entire state and can be sized to fit each organization, whatever size they are. So we can make a smaller chamber in a smaller market look the same size as a big chamber in a big market on the web. And when we're able to share content across that presence in the cyberspace, we can be more efficient and be more effective in our advocacy work for our members. So that's kind of in a nutshell. To me, again, I want to stress as best we can, let's be present for our board meeting. As Matt mentioned, we want to revitalize an old working group that we have had in the past, kind of let fall to the side our corporate advisory committee. We do have some real friends in the corporate space that have been with us, excuse me, over the years, financial institutions, energy companies, and the like. This year, we're going to add some mid-sized Black-owned companies just to add that flavor and to make sure that those corporate supporters that we do have understand that they are signing on to our mission rather than us trying to fit our mission into their aspirations for their organizations. And so that's important. I think clearly all of us have struggled as the pandemic has just torn apart our ability to have fundraising events, our annual events that have been the resuscitation of our organizations across the years. Those have kind of gone away, or certainly been impacted negatively just because of social distancing and the other kind of stuff that makes people stay at home rather than go outside. So we want to work smart. And we believe that as long as we can maximize, for an example, I have often said to Matt and Courtney and the rest of the executive team that it's really difficult to raise money in a virtual format. You can do it because we have some long-term friends, but you don't really get new money in a virtual setting. And so when we have old long-standing friends, we want to make sure that they stay engaged and also make sure that they understand, appreciate, and continue their support for the work that we do. I see Madam Chair has joined us. If you have questions for me, clearly I'll take those, but that kind of capsulizes, Matt, the things that I want to stress to the membership. Make sure that we're present. I mean, I want to see 25 or 50, if whatever that double number is, or representatives from local chambers. I think it makes all the sense in the world for us to be present and accounted for this 85th anniversary meeting.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I'm going to pass it to Madam Chair. I just want to let you know, Madam Chair, we've been discussing on the conference. I went through the calendar, the agenda for October 27th through the 29th. I did not share with them the flyer or application yet. I want us to discuss, we were discussing, Charles O'Neill was discussing the importance of us meeting on Thursday. I also want us to discuss the importance of Friday, having as many people at these sessions on Friday, due to, and Tam also a cosign on that thought. So I'd love for you to fill in the space, and the meeting is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. And I apologize. I received a call right before this Zoom meeting started that my daughter wasn't feeling well at school. So I had to make the run and make it back. So thank you again, Matt. Thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership always. And it's a really exciting time. What I was sharing in my opening comments was just how important it is for us to convene. So I'm glad that our vice chair and our president were able to kind of push that point home. But one of the exciting things that we're really pumped up about, and we have a great opportunity, is the luncheon that we're going to host. So on Thursday, as Matt shared with you, we'll do our board meeting, we'll do our officer elections, very important time in our organization. And we'll roll that straight into a luncheon. And we're really excited about this luncheon because several things will actually happen there. One, we will have a guest speaker um, who is the new president, the 13th president of Texas Southern University. I know we have a lot of HBCU grads here, and you all know the importance that HBCUs play in educating the next generation of entrepreneurs. And Texas Southern just appointed a new president 60 days ago, and she is excited about TAC and wants to work with us and wants to announce a new program, which is her presidential scholarship program. She is raising money and doing a great job at it to help students attend college. And she wants to utilize the TAC network and partner with all of our chambers across the state to identify students for Texas Southern and give that student one of her presidential scholarships on behalf of each of our local chambers. So we're very excited about that. Again, it's not a monetary expense that we have or any of our chambers have, but the honor that we would have to identify an African American student that wants to major in business and attend Texas Southern. So she will be there. The plan is for us hopefully to have our MOU worked out and be able to do a ceremonial signing there and officially kick off this program. Secondly, in this luncheon that will be in person for our leaders, I think the president was alluding to doing something special for our partners and our sponsors. In this environment, we have been very blessed as a state chamber to still be able to fundraise and be able to keep our staff and keep our office. When COVID hit, just like all of you all, we immediately started to think about the longevity of the association. How do we keep the doors open? How do we raise money? But we have some tremendous partners that have been steadfast and with us, even though programming has been somewhat limited under the pandemic. So we do want to take a moment to have them a part of the conference with us, network with them. We think it's a wonderful opportunity also too for you all as local chamber leaders to network with our partners. Could be opportunities for you on a local level also too. So we're excited about that. And then thirdly, last but certainly not least, no, excuse me, two more things. Third thing is we want to invite members of the Texas Legislative Black Caucus delegation. As you all know and saw, I'm sure on the news, our TLBC members took a stand, a big stand, particularly our state reps, and we want to recognize them for the work that they did this legislative session and are still doing. We're still in the process now with redistricting, and it's a fight. But the way that they walked out, the way that they took a stand and really tried to hold the line, we do want to do some special recognitions for them. So we do have an invite for them to participate. And then lastly, the fourth thing that'll be happening in this power lunch is our induction into the Black Business Hall of Fame. So we do an induction periodically. We have been blessed to have some very distinguished Black-owned businesses from around the state, our multi-million-dollar business businesses, and we will make another induction. Matt, we may save that until next week to get everybody to tune in again to announce that. But just know that all of those things will be happening at the Power Lunch. So again, Thursday, opportunity to network and casually play golf. We'll do a networking mixer just for us to get together amongst ourselves and reconnect and be able to share information, build relationships. That Thursday morning, continental breakfast, I just talked to the caterer, the best caterer in Houston this up morning. So she's going to hook up a full breakfast for us and roll that into the Power Lunch. And then that's the in-person conclusion of the in-person activities. And then on Friday morning, we have a full day that we're planning of power-packed information designed for our members to be able to grow and prosper. So again, lots of activities coming up. We appreciate you all's participation in advance, but I can't stress the importance of planning to be here in person for our board members and our chamber leaders.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do want to, it's time check, it's 11:26. And so what I would like to do is give people, we're not rushing, by the way, but we're approaching the hour mark. I want to give people time to comment on what we've discussed about the virtual conference now. So if you don't have,
Matt, I do have a question.
yes, sir.
We here in Fort Worth, we've with our chamber, we've done a number of MOUs with other chambers that were not Black chambers, in particular the Arlington Chamber of Commerce, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce here in Fort Worth, and the Fort Worth Chamber of Commerce. Have we considered, and I bring this question up because I want to know, have we considered, just in generality, have a gentlewoman's agreement amongst all of our chambers here in Texas to help promote and do business with each other in this respect? If we don't have, say for instance, in Fort Worth, Texas, if we don't have firms here that can competitively bid on public, private opportunities, it doesn't necessarily have to be construction, engineering, it can be professional services. That if we had an agreement with another chamber, for instance, in San Antonio or Austin, to say, hey, look, we have an opportunity here in Fort Worth. We don't have the capacity or the businesses to be able to competitively bid on this or to go after this particular work, but that since we have an MOU with the chamber in San Antonio, if you got a firm there, hey, let's get them a address here in Fort Worth. That way we're constantly looking out for each other collectively, because I think that there's strength in that approach to where eventually maybe a firm out of San Antonio or Austin may find it beneficial to have a office in Fort Worth, Texas or Dallas, Texas to compete. That way we don't have to necessarily grow new businesses in our region or in our specific, area of direct impact, but that we can collaborate with each other and help foster an environment where we are working collectively together. So I don't want to be too repetitive in what I'm trying to explain here, but does that make sense?
Hey man, I don't want to be like in class. Ooh, I want to answer that. I want to answer that.
Yeah, I could tell when you turned on the camera that Charles on
Hey, thank you, bro. Cole, and good to see you, man. I think without being, gratuitous, that is the reason that TAC exists, and so I hope it's both implicit and explicit that is the real function of this organization, why it's so critical that we do know each other. And I'll add that one of the one of the sought after benefits of the workshop that I described earlier from ATX Designs is what we've struggled with across the entire 35-year history of TAC is knowing who's in business in what market for whatever reasons, and a little bit reluctant to share our databases so that we'll know when you have an opportunity in your market that we can go to TAC's website and find that business that we can link with in Fort Worth and hook them to that business in Corpus Christi. We really need to refine what that network really represents. And we think that by the offerings of ATX Design, again, the folks who redesigned our website, we have that ability built in now in our website that folk can go and click on Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce and connect with you. It's not functioning right now, but we have that ability built into our new platform. And so what we hope, again, is to expand on that. As noted, since it's not working by your ears, so far, that's something that we need to work on. And I can't stress enough that when we're in the room working for solutions together, we can address that and make sure that that's a plank for our organization, and not have folk feel threatened. And let me back up one more step. One of the issues TAC has bumped into across the years is trying to assure its member organizations that it's not trying to cannibalize their member databases, right? That in fact, it works for all of us when we do know who businesses are operating in the state. And so we're the helper organization for all 25 Black chambers in the state. And we want to make sure that the work that we do as your organization is to make all of our organizations better, and so I really appreciate that question this morning. But yes, that is the entire reason that we exist as an organization.
And the reason why we need to meet this month.
Yes, sir.
So that's why it was you gave us a softball.
Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely right. Thank you. Any other comments? And in fact, the Daniel Greer's website, the social media website, will be one of the workshops that I would encourage all of us to attend so that we can understand, or at the very minimum, get Daniel's contact so that you all can reach back to him to ask him questions on how we can all optimize our websites so that we can build that network of support. Because we don't want to take anyone's members, but at the same time, all of us are losing. And we need to figure out how we need to win in this overall economic forecast here at the state.
Boy, I just keep going with my technical issues. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. I just had a quick question. You might have covered this earlier, Matt, and I know it's not necessarily a popular question, but for the board meeting on Thursday, will there be a virtual option?
Yes, we will provide a virtual option if needed.
Okay.
Yeah. Great question. Any other thoughts or questions about what we explained?
Real quickly, Matt, on the company that you're using to revamp the website, could you provide us in the email their contact information? I don't know if it would be beneficial, maybe with this company that we might consider, revamping our websites to make it, to help assist with the integration with our abilities to be able to, be on the same platform.
I'll send everyone Daniel's contact information after this call.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
And real quickly,
Mhm.
his range in terms of what are his professional services fees?
That is a question between you and him. He's still an entrepreneur. Yeah, we ain't going unless we get in the cut. We ain't negotiating everything for you.
Gotcha.
Any other comments? What are your thoughts? Like, we want to leave space so that you all can at least provide feedback. I see we have Carrie Goree and Denton here. You all are typically here. The reason why we want to have the golfing event Wednesday is so that I could try to show you all that I could play now. Secondly, is to really show the really importance of us getting there Thursday. So coming from Den, do you think it's realistic for a group of you all? Because I know you all are having the Blues Festival earlier that month and things of that nature. Is it feasible for Denton or for an Arlington Black Chamber or Greater Southwest Chamber or a couple people from Fort Worth to come to attend Houston or Dallas? You're on mute, Carrie. There you go.
I don't think we're going to have a problem in getting, if you will, a carload of individuals to come down there to participate in person. Something that is needed, as I say, we need to reach out and touch each other again and bring that cohesiveness back to where we were before the pandemic. So I'm looking to, as we say, like going to the drive-in, I'm trying to fill up a car for $1. And we'll try to be there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Dallas, what are your thoughts, Harrison, on what you've heard today?
I think it's going to be a great conference, and I'm also excited to share some of what we've been doing to be successful here in an ever-changing economy. And I'm sure we can get some businesses to join. And I am working with staff to make some arrangements to try and be there. And Matt, you're a part of one of our programs that's happening that Tuesday. So I'm sure that I'll probably leave Dallas after that program and come on down.
Yep.
Matt, this is Sultan. I do plan on being in Houston.
Okay.
I would assume we do have a block of hotel rooms at a nominal rate. Is that correct?
Our chairwoman is working on that now.
Okay, very good.
Mr. Vice Chair, one last thing I want to just mention as we close up, because I do want to give everybody some minutes of their day back, is I'm not sure whether this was discussed, is each local chamber having the opportunity or the option to host a workshop on that Friday. Was that talked about earlier?
Briefly, it was alluded, but not. We essentially stated we have 5 workshop slots for Friday, and we know that one workshop slot should be the website social media integration. I wrote down a couple of other sessions as notes: a banking and finance workshop. Whatever partners we have may fulfill one of those workshops, and then I'm guessing we have 3 Black Chamber workshops. That can be the best practices type deal.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent feedback. This is good. We're getting excited.
Good deal. What one last question, and this is for Madam Chair and specifically for Ms. Miller at Prairie View. What about having an undergraduate session workshop between Prairie View, TSU, HT, and continue that? And I can incorporate my business students at UNT Dallas, and that can also add numbers to our registration as well. What are y'all's thoughts?
We've had a great relationship, and that's through I know Mayor Brian Rowland has been instrumental over the years, as well as yourself, Matt, with getting us student participation, and I think it's always powerful. to have student participation with us, really focusing on the next generation of African American entrepreneurs. So I'm sure Texas Southern would love to participate. We've had students from their public affairs program, and they've always been very open. Dr. Rowland has gotten the Prairie View students, and I'm not sure who was helping us coordinate Houston Tillotson. But I think it would be great to have that connectivity, particularly with this MOU that we have started.
Okay. And Charles, if you can provide me the Houston Tillotson Connect, I can do that. And I can informally have my UNT Dallas students and School of Business people participate as well.
Yeah, HT has a new dean of the School of Business, but Tam has the best connect. The president of HT is on her board.
Oh, there you go.
Dr. Colette Pierce Burnett, just the coolest sister you ever meet. She'll, I'm certain, we have had good luck with TSU, and I have been in email contact with the new dean of the School of Business. And so that's not going to be a tough one.
Okay.
The other one I want to underscore is a workshop that we've had in the past with Black mayors and city council members. Wednesday, I'll be with our past chair, Jim Wyatt, on the campus of Texas Southern for the former chairman's luncheon. Jim was the former chair of the Texas Municipal League and Texas Association of Black City Council Members. They are meeting this week in Houston. We have over the years had workshops featuring Black mayors and council members from across the state. I still believe that, particularly given the last census, we know that there are more Black folk in Texas than in any other state, which means that every city represented by a chamber on this call has experienced the growth in Black population. That being the case, it has further legitimized our demand on changes in the way municipalities spend money. We know that Black businesses lag significantly behind other groups in government contracting at all levels, school boards, city councils, county governments, clearly in the state level. We think that increased contracting opportunities from the governments that we pay for is a stream of income that's been untapped in the state of Texas. And we believe that conversations like we propose with Black mayors and city council members helps us further along the path to achieving that goal. And so that's one workshop, Matt, that we want to make sure is available as well. And for the banking deal, it will be the emergent acquisition financing from Regions
Perfect.
Bank. Okay.
Good deal.
I will follow up with Mayor Rowland. I did make note of that. Yes, he definitely has more of a connection with the university and the students than I currently do, but he certainly will be helpful in getting that to, us be able to work together with TSU and others. So I'll get back with you.
Appreciate you.
Yes.
Good deal. Madam Chair, my suggestion is to solidify or finalize the application. There are a couple of things I want to add on the virtual application and then release it later today with the flyer so that we can provide that to our members here, and then us next Monday discussing the specifics of the conference so that we can get all 25 chambers, so we can discuss that with all 25 chambers on the call next Monday.
That's a plan.
Okay.
I want to thank everybody for attending. Thank you, Matt, for hosting. Thank you, Mr. President, for your efforts in every chamber that is represented here. The future is bright. It's going to be a really exciting month. So excited about it. And thank you all for your excitement and upcoming participation with us. We certainly appreciate it.
Good deal. Y'all have a good one.
Right on. Thanks so much.
Leslie.
Everybody. All right.